and welcome back to Keep the Peace. We're back with another Ninjago Dragons Rising March 2024 set review. This time it's set number 71812, Kai's Ninja Climber Mech. This set, along with the others, was sent to us by the LEGO Ambassador Network, so big thank you to them. That being said, I'm gonna give you my fair and honest opinions. This set has 623 pieces, goes for $59.99 in pounds and $69.99 in dollars or euros. Let's get into the review. Here's everything we get in this set. We of course get the big Kai Climber Mech, this little glider side build for Jordana, and 4 minifigures, Kai, Jay, Wildfire, and Jordana. We're gonna start by taking a look at these minifigures. From left to right we have Jay and Kai in their climber suits, Wildfire in her new outfit, as well as that new hairpiece, and we have Jordana with the same outfit she had in the January sets, minus the collar, but instead with this neck bracket piece. These new climber suits use this new armor piece, which is super detailed. It's dual molded with gold and this dark blue and dark red color. It's like really super detailed with these little golden rivets. On the back here we have the golden katana holder. These suits use the top half of the 2023 Dragons Rising masks, which I'm still not the biggest fan of. I personally also don't really like that they're a different color than the armor piece, but I think overall it does kind of work. There's also the Dragons Rising head pieces. You can kind of see that my Kai was a bit damaged, sadly, so the print is a bit scratched up here. Wildfire has a spiky armor piece and this really nice new hair piece. She reuses her face from last year, and I really like how this new robe looks. It's kind of simple, but it has this very subtle texture to it, which I think looks really nice. On the back we have the letters WF and an exclamation mark, and this little funny fire guy with a smiley face, which is really cute. Jordana has the same torso and legs from the January wave with the words Wolf Moon spelled out on it. Without some of the additional accessories, we see some prints a lot better. The climber suits have a lot of detail, with these golden ropes with different buckles and clips. There's the little source dragon emblem on both of the suits, and it kind of looks like these belts are on top of a more simple suit with this nice texture to it. I always really like when they add a little bit of textures or patterns to these suits, so I think this looks really cool. You can also see all the alternate face prints here. On the back you can see how all the details continue, of course. We have all the ropes, the little keychain details with the first letter of the ninjas' names, and just overall the details here on the back of Jordana as well, and Wildfire. I also wanted to show you how these new climber suits look with their hair pieces. This set of course does not come with any extra hair pieces, but I wanted to show you how it looks, and I think it looks really nice. Here's also the version with the hair pieces with the headbands. Once again, I kind of like this more than with the top hood. We also get a whole bunch of minifigure accessories in this set. The ninja get 1 katana each, you can put that into the armor piece of course, and they also both get this new hook piece with this dragon head design on it that can be used to climb or slide down ropes. Wildfire once again gets these power blast pieces we know from the LEGO superhero sets, and we can of course still shoot them out of her hands. Jordana gets this cool new dual molded blade piece. It's molded in gunmetal gray and trans red. I like this design quite a lot. It reminds me a bit of the blades from Hands of Time, and I also really like that it has some little scratches here in the front. With Jordana's back bracket we can also add this little side build of the set, which is this very small glider build. From the back it looks very simple with just some black anti-studs, but when we turn it around we can see a lot more detail with some magenta pieces, dark blue details, these little silver spikes, and on the sides we have these curved swords that can be taken off and used as minifigure weapons. Here's an overall look at the mech itself. I think this has a really unique and cool stature. When we turn it a bit here to the side we can see the head here on top, and that the torso kind of sticks out here to the front. We have 4 arms on this mech of course, so 2 in the front and 2 in the back. We can see that other pair of arms a lot better on the back here, and this mech uses a lot of TECHNIC construction here in the back and the legs as well with these pistons. We'll look at everything in a lot more detail of course, starting with the cockpit area here. This area is very much angled forward. We have some yellow stripes to add some color here on the sides, and of course on top we have the little head built with these dark red pieces on the sides, with a little eye here in trans blue, and additionally this horn built with one of those mech finger pieces. The whole head is connected with some TECHNIC pieces, so it can be angled back and forth like this, and it's on a mixel ball joint for some extra posability. If we get the head out of the way, here's the space you can place your Kai minifigure. He just slides in there. There's one of these panel pieces that goes in between the minifigure legs, so he's not connected by any studs, and then we can move the head back in place. This area uses a bunch of stickers. There's some flame designs here on the sides, as well as another on the other side. We also have a little fire sticker here in the front, and this little technical detail on the slope here in the middle. The lower torso is angled forward. This is a really cool design in my opinion. It uses these round cones and little TECHNIC slopes for some extra detail here, and the front is covered with some normal slopes. I think this gives it a really nice look, and this is a very TECHNIC dominated build in this area. Taking a look at the legs here, I think this is also a really cool and unique leg build. Overall, they have the very thick upper legs with some red armor, so we have these red armor pieces, one sticker on each side, and these slopes with some little golden details. The sides and insides of the legs are just very simple, mainly using red slopes. On the back, these upper legs are very simple with just a black plate, but what's really cool is, in my opinion, are these pistons here on the back. The lower legs are basically an all TECHNIC build, so that allows you to have these double ball joints in the feet, and this allows for some really cool posability with some good stability, and gives us a lot of opportunity for cool poses with this ankle articulation. The foot build is quite nice as well. We have this stickered slope here on top on each side. It can be adjusted, but I don't really think that does anything. We have these two toes in the front. These are fixed in place, so we can't really pose them. And on the side, we have these red part. I assume that's to give the feet a bit more surface area. Some Nexo shields here in the back. And you can already see that there's a little trans blue plate here, which could be some kind of thruster. The feet are pretty much identical on both sides, and here's once again a better look at that wonderful ankle articulation with the piston in the back. Let's move to the arms. We of course have 4 arms here, so we're starting with the front pair. It's attached with the same kind of mech joint as the legs, so we can rotate them and move them inwards and outwards. It's quite a sturdy joint, so it might be a bit hard to pose it correctly, so you need a bit of force. On the top part of the armor uses this little wheel guard piece, as well as this round sticker tile with a Ninjago K for Kai, as well as this textured armor piece, some golden bits and keyed orange slopes. This arm sadly uses the black SCCVS limb piece here, so we don't have any posable elbows, and it's a little bit thin in my opinion. When we move to the wrist, we can see that there's another sticker here on this Nexo shield with some nice technical details. You can also see that there's a mixel ball joint for the wrist, so we can pose the hand. The hand itself is mostly built around this red armor shell piece. We have 3 individual fingers on this hand. They can be posed a little bit side to side and mostly up and down. We of course also have a big sword in each hand. This is just connected via a pin, so we can easily take this out, and then you can pose the hand more freely. Moving on to the back pair of arms, we have these big red parts here on top. These are kind of the shoulders of these arms, and they use the same kind of mech joint, so they can be rotated up and down as well as inward and outward. They have this little golden detail here, but they're mostly just red slopes, and the arm itself is kind of just this TECHNIC lift arm. On both sides, when it comes to connections, we have different hand builds. So we're gonna take a look at these individually, but we also have these big blade pieces here, which is a pretty cool new piece. Looking at the 2 different hands, the first one is really simple. It connects with a mixel ball joint, so you can pose it around quite freely. And we also have 3 fingers that are individually adjustable, and another sticker piece here on top. On this side, there's this armor section with these 2 golden spikes attached to it. The hand connects in a bit of a different way here, but the actual hand build itself is pretty much the same with the sticker and the posable fingers. But here in the back we have the blade held onto by this big golden armor piece, and this is kind of the climbing function of this mech. So here in the back you can see this whole part with the blade is just attached via an axle, and that way you're supposed to just disconnect this whole part, so we have the hook in our hand connected to this rope piece. And then you can basically just hang this hook onto something, And then if we zoom out here a little bit, we can swing around the whole mech on that rope, which is pretty cool. I wish kinda that they would have included some kind of function where you could shoot that hook or something. That would be really cool. Whenever we get a new construction style piece like this, I also like showing them off with some Bionicle characters. So for this new hook piece, I kind of wanted to do an example with like a scythe build with the TECHNIC axle on the back of this piece. Or you can also do like a Motoro style double claw with the axle holes on the sides. With the forearms and the cool ankles especially, you can pull off some quite cool dynamic poses with this mech. I'm especially happy with those ankles because a lot of bigger Ninjago mechs are very limited here, so it's a lot harder to get them into some kind of dynamic stepping motion, but with this one this works really well. We can also put it to the test and have it stand on one foot, and I'm very happy to report that that also works. With mechs like this, I also want to give you a size comparison, first here with Jay's Titan mech, and then also with the crystallized Samurai X mech, just to give you an idea how big this mech is. We get a couple of spare parts here. There's some good stuff here, like an extra piece of shoulder armor or a power blast, an extra katana, so pretty cool stuff here. We also get the sticker sheet, which has quite a bunch of stickers. They're spread all over the mech. I don't think all of them are super necessary, but they do look nice. We get one instruction booklet in the set, which is pretty tall, and it has some ads for the other sets in the back. This set also came with plastic bags for me. Alright, it's time to give you my overall thoughts and opinions about this set, and I want to start just with the look of this. I personally really like how this looks. I like the design of this mech a lot. I think the forearms is a creative idea. It's very like exaggerated, really like stylized, and I like that design a lot personally. I know we have a lot of Bionicle fans in our audience, and I think this might be the Lego set right now that's the closest to an OG Bionicle set, maybe. Like, it has a lot of TECHNIC building in the pistons here for the legs, and the way the back is built of the torso. So there's a lot of cool TECHNIC building in there, and it's like a buildable figure with like a bright color scheme and weapons and stuff. So I think this might be the closest you can get right now to a Bionicle set. Overall, I think it's a pretty good mech. It has a good amount of posability, but I think there's a lot more that could be done. Sadly, no knees, no elbows on the other pair of arms. So it's a bit limited. We've seen like knees and elbows with most of the other bigger Ninjago mechs in the last couple of years. I do really like the ankles though. I pointed out a couple of times in the review already, but I kind of learned while reviewing this how much that adds to do some expressive poses. If you have some good ankles, other Ninjago mechs often have very limited ankle posability, and this lets it stand a lot easier and lets you pull off some cool poses where he's like stepping forward or like kicking or something like that, and that's really good. I want to talk a bit about the price. The set has 623 pieces and $69.99 in dollars or euros, which is a bit expensive in my opinion, especially if you compare it to some other Ninjago mechs. For example, the Jay's Titan mech, which I compared it to in the video, is $10 more and quite a bit bigger. Also Zane's Titan mech, but that's a couple of years ago, is also even cheaper and a bit more massive, a bit bigger. So I think like from price per piece wise, it's a bit under what you'd want. And from like a volume of stuff you get, I think it's also a bit under what you want. So maybe wait for a discount if you want to get this set. The hook functionality, it's kind of cool. I think especially for display, it's cool that you can have it hanging like this. You can just hang it on a shelf or something like that. I think that's a cool idea. But I do think it's a bit underwhelming how it works, because it's just like connected by a TECHNIC axle and then you hang it somewhere. It would be really cool in my opinion if you could like shoot it or something. But that might be hard to do, and I think it was probably very hard to get it to work in general, that this like string holds the weight of the whole mech. There are some pretty good minifigures in this set. I'm especially a fan of the Wildfire minifigure. Her design is really cool, her new design. I like the suit a lot with the texture it has. And the climber suits, I generally really like them. I'm always a fan a bit of the over-detailed designs, so I really like the prints they have on their suits. And the armor piece is really cool. I'm still not the biggest fan of the Dragons Rising upper hood piece, but with the hair pieces, I think it looks really good. So yeah, those are my overall thoughts about this set. Once again, big thank you to DeLand for sending this one to us, and see you soon for more Ninjago reviews here on Keep the Peace. Bye!